wisdom build degree in the 1 to 40 is, what was Yaqub's first rule?
No, go ahead, God. I didn't say nothing.
The wisdom build degree in the 1 to 40 is, what was Yaqub's first rule and regulation, including all laws enforced while manufacturing the devil? Yaqub's first rule was to see that all his followers were healthy, strong, and good breeders. If not, he sent them back. And all that was not good and multiplying would marry at the age 16. Next, Yaqub gave his people law on birth control, which was to destroy a life.
Take your time, God. Go from birth control.
Okay, Yaqub's law on birth control. Yaqub gave his people law on birth control, which was to be enforced by manufacturing the devil, which is to destroy the alike and save the unalike, which means to kill the black babies and save the brown babies. Next, Yaqub gave law to the doctors, ministers, nurses, and cremators. The doctor's law was to examine all who was desiring to marry, and he would qualify or disqualify.
Take it back.
The doctor's law was to examine all who desired to marry. In return,
take it back. Don't marry and just take your time, God.
The doctor's law.
If you don't know the degree though, you can just
I'll pass.
I know the degree, but I'm not on that degree.
That's why I went to
I'm a pass.
Now the Cipher degree.
So, Trust, you got it, guy?
What was Yaqub's first rules and regulations, including all laws enforced while manufacturing the devil? Yaqub's first rule was to see that all his followers were healthy, strong, and good breeders. If not, he sent them back, and all those not good and multiplying were to marry at the age of 16. Next, Yaqub gave his people the law on birth control, which was to be enforced while manufacturing the devil, which was to destroy the alike and save the unlike, which means to kill the black babies and save the brown babies. This law, Yaqub gave the law to the doctors, ministers, nurses, and cremators. The doctor's law was to examine all those desiring to marry must first be qualified by the doctor. In return, he qualified or disqualified them to the minister. The minister was only to marry those that were unlike. The nurse's law was to kill all the black babies at birth by sticking a pin in his head or to feed it to some wild beast, and tell a lie to his mother that her baby was an angel baby, and that a baby was an angel baby, and that it only went to heaven, and that when she dies, her son will secure for her a home in heaven. But save all the brown babies and tell its mother that she was a lucky mother, and that her baby was a holy baby. And that she should take good care of it and educate it, and when it gets older, it will be a great man. The doctors and ministers and nurses Yaqub put doctors, ministers, and nurses Yaqub put under a death penalty for all those that failed to obey the law. Also, the cremators who would burn the black babies whenever the nurses would bring them. Also, death to anyone who would reveal the secret. Yaqub also had other rules and regulations which are not mentioned in this lesson.
They're good, bro.
Yeah. So, peace. So the way I see that is that when you're dealing with the doctors, ministers, nurses, and cremators, you're dealing with people from all walks of society. So in any society, you need doctors, you need judges, you need people to uphold the law, you need people to sweep the streets. So Yaqub was dealing with trick knowledge in his society. So what we have to do as a true and living gods is apply the reverse to our society and understand that we need to have doctors, ministers, nurses, lawyers, and those people in our society to be the 5% and to make sure that we know and teach the truth, because we are held responsible for those that don't know the truth. You understand? So we can't let the 10% hold the truth over the heads of the 85%. We have to do our jobs and teach and teach and teach. Peace.
Peace. Today's mathematics in the 1 to 40 is, what were Yaqub's first rules and regulations, including all laws enforced while manufacturing the devil? Yaqub's first rule was to see that all the followers were healthy, strong, and good breeders. If not, he sent it back, and all that was not good and multiplying and married at the age of 16. Next, Yaqub gave his people on birth control, which was to be enforced while manufacturing the devil, which was to destroy that like and save that like. Yaqub also sort of like, Yakub, wait, pardon yourself. I'm gonna start over. Today's degree in the 1 to 40 states, where Yakub's first rules and regulations including all laws enforced while manufacturing to devil. Yakub's first rules is to see that all the fathers were healthy, strong, and good breeders, nice, their back, and all that was not good and multiplied and married at the age of 16. Next, Yakub gave his people law and birth control, which was to be enforced while manufacturing the devil, which was to destroy their like and save the unlike.
Which means kills all the black babies.
Which means to kill all the black babies and save the brown babies. Yakub gave this law to the doctors, missus, nurses, and cremators. The doctor's law was to examine all that decided to marry must first be qualified by the doctor. In return, he qualified or disqualified them to the ministers who will only marry those that were unlike. The nurse's law was to kill the black babies at birth by sticking a pin in his head or feeding it to some wild beast and tell his mother a lie that her baby was an angel baby and was only taken to heaven, and someday when she dies, he would secure her home in heaven. But save all the brown babies and tell his mother that she was a lucky mother and that her babies were a holy baby and she should take good care of it and educate it. All doctors, missus, and nurses.
One day will grow up to be a great man.
And one day to grow up to be a great man. All doctors, missus, and nurses, Yakub put in the death penalty to fulfill the law. Also, the criminals who will burn the black babies whenever the nurses bring them. Also, death to anyone else who revealed the secret. Yakub also had other rules and regulations which are not being mentioned in this lesson.
Okay.
So I see that as Yakub said having a system, and he had four different categories upholding that system to make sure everything was seen through, even after he wasn't here anymore. And I see that in myself as in manufacturing God, I have to have my own system. So the doctors always say examine. I see that as me doing the knowledge to everything, always putting the knowledge first. You know what I mean? That's how I examine. The minister's law was to marry those that were unlike. You know what I mean? And I see that as me building with my Aalites for one common cause. You know what I mean? And bring that determined idea into manifestation. You know what I mean? Making knowledge born. The nurse's law was to stick the pins in the heads of the black babies. I see that as indoctrination. So here in this nation, how we reverse the polarity of that indoctrination is by teaching the truth. You know what I mean? We teach the truth to the babies first, because that's the greatest, that's the best part. And I see the cremators law to burn the black babies. I see that as one handling their business in their personal family. You know what I mean? Since I'm the knowledge, my woman is the wisdom, and my baby's the understanding. Knowledge and wisdom is the 12th letter in the alphabet, which is love. So making sure that baby has the proper love. So it from the beginning, it has the understanding of who it is, what it is, the world we in, and what the devil is. And I'm say peace.
Peace.
Actual facts? Yeah.
Actual facts.
Today's degree in the actual facts is the Earth is 93 million miles from the sun. So the way I see that is when you look at 93, is born and understanding. So when we look at born and understanding, I look at the distance from the sun to the earth, meaning how long it travels, heat and light traveling from the sun to the earth, and that's how we born our understanding, because our light is the knowledge, right? So the knowledge traveling to the earth, which is our woman, or anything that we touch, anything the sun touches, make sure that it borns an understanding, make sure it borns a proper understanding, meaning that make sure we're putting out the right vibes into the universe every day that we step out of the house. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Today's math in the actual facts is Earth is 93 million miles away from the sun. And we know that Earth is the home of Islam. You know what I mean? And this is what we're supposed to do our duty. And part of our duty is to civilize. And the wisdom degree in the 1 to 14 says, civilize means to teach knowledge and wisdom of all human families of the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? That's once again, that's the knowledge and wisdom. So that's us teaching, civilizing by showing our knowledge and wisdom. So everybody on the planet Earth could born to understand that. Peace.
Peace. Peace. Today's degree in the solar facts is Mercury is 36 million miles from the sun. So when I deal with 36, we see the 3 and the 6 is understanding equality. So we must understand our equality and make sure that it's a good equality to bring about, to make sure that what we bring about is born alive and not born dead. Peace.
Peace. Today's math in the solar facts is Mercury is 36 million miles away from the sun. And I see that as Mercury being the closest planet to the sun, you have to be doing the knowledge to Cipher to see who exactly is getting close to you. You know what I mean? You have to do the knowledge to that person before getting too close. You know what I mean? So when you're doing the knowledge to that person, y'all both have to have a mutual understanding of what equality is. You know what I'm saying? And that's understanding understood. You know what I mean? And once that understanding is understood, that's equality. You know what I mean? And then from there, you could born a healthy, balanced relationship. Peace.
Peace.
All right, now, the lesson we learned this week is that there is a difference between knowing 120 and being able to speak one to him. We all learned that lesson today, right? Now look, I got one more. Look, if something happens to this brother right here in the cipher, right? Whose fault is that?
All of us, because we didn't.
All y'all people on that side supposed to be watching his back. It's like you supposed to be watching everybody on that side back. It's just another thing about the cipher. Always keep that in mind. Alright? So we know now that we gotta practice speaking it.
Peace. Any questions in the cipher though?
Yeah, no, that that you made understanding, you gave me more clear knowledge of that degree now, God, when you were saying about the button on the lapel of his coat. Because I thought it was like in Muhammad's time when they was women. I didn't even understand that it was the universal flag. I know it's in the born degree, I know it's the universal flag and speak about our flag, but then I was thinking about in that sense of Muhammad's time, because they were speaking about, taking off their heads and all that, but you made it understood clear,
One thing I want to add on is that, like, next time we do ciphers, I feel like everybody should give the person a time to get their thoughts together before anybody interrupts. No whispering, no laughing. Just let that brother have his time to get whatever to get his thoughts together and to get out whatever he needs to get out. You know what I mean? And no like just jumping in or like cutting each other's wisdom. Let's just make the cipher try to be as cohesive as possible.
Yeah, and sometimes, like, if a brother like stagnant or forgetful, while give him a minute instead of being like now cipher and attacking them quicker, then you throwing them more off.
More so, yeah.
That means that we have to do the knowledge to each other's wisdom. That's why the person that speaks before you got to acknowledge their wisdom to see if what they're saying is right and exact, so that if there is a correction to be made, like you said, like give the God a minute, you know what I'm saying? Let him
Give a God a
let
minute.
his thoughts, but then also too do the knowledge to his wisdom, so that you know that when it's your turn, you building on that same degree.
I started it off. That's
Word, yeah, nah, I know. I'm not pointing
No,
fingers.
no,
I'm
no.
just saying, yeah.
Also,
everybody got.
I see at parts that one of us would chime in, but some of us, our degrees, our word is slightly different. So just because his word is slightly different doesn't mean you have to correct that individual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that too. As long as they don't be like, if you saying the last degree in the alphabet zigzag zig, but if you come out and say zigzag zoo,
Yeah, that's
then
different.
that's different.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? As long as if it's nothing off the chain like that.
Yeah, that's peace. That's peace though, because I love the energy in the cipher. One thing I noticed growing up was always people measured you by their sincerity. So it's a difference between someone who may take a little bit more time, but is insincere, as opposed to a person that takes time, but you can see they're truly passionate about getting their wisdom out. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I like the cipher, and I like the brothers that's here, because everybody's serious about what they're trying to do. So it's like it make me take more time to say, all right, well, he said that I'm acknowledge your wisdom, and then when it's my turn, it makes me dig deeper, because now I gotta come correct, because the people before me was correct. You know what I'm saying?
That's peace, God.
You got anything else to add on? You got any stuff?
Nah, we
What
we
you want to
can't.
build on, God?
Nah, we gonna go back. Hold on,
Hold
dog.
I'm not gonna hold you, God. I got it.
I'm not ready.
I just want to.
Yeah, just build
I
with
text
me
you,
on
dog. I
the
just
difference
want
between who's the color man and Caucasian
how
man.
you expounded on the first degree in the solar
Caucasian man.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I gotta.
So I know that,
You going a little bit